live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I am streaming to you from Europe here in the heart of Hungary, capital city of Budapest. Hi, Tenshu Tented. I love pre-sing. Bayern München. Good afternoon to you as well. We are kicking this class off with some IELTS speaking part 3, the third and final part of the speaking interview. For some, perhaps the most challenging part of the speaking interview. And these materials do come from our websites, aehelp.com for academic IELTS help. We don't just repeat what other schools and institutions give, we perfect and develop our own strategies and techniques, and we are often copied but never replicated. For general IELTS, check us out at gieltshelp.com. We have educational psychologists working on our strategies. I myself have a degree in psychology, as some of you may have guessed throughout the weeks and months of lessons. So check us out on those websites. They look like this. This is our academic with the blue background. You can click that red button to join. We are partners of British Council IELTS Registration Center. So students from Saudi Arabia can register for their exam with us. And in the future with other countries as well. We're hoping to get India and some other countries on board very, very soon. Good to see our members. Hai Li Ying in the class. For general version of the exam, join this website here with the green background. Click that red button and become a full member. Get access to our interactive course. 6 full practice exams, over 100 hours of video lessons. All right, everyone, let's get past the preamble. Another piece of important information, you can contact me, Adrian at aehelp.com. That's my email. And you can integrate into our academic website with our app, Academic IELTS Help, available on Apple and Android. So check that out. Priyanka, because you are a member, I can send you a discount code for the premium membership. So just send me an email, Priyanka, and I will send you a discount code, okay? So students, if you are a member of the YouTube channel, like Priyanka is asking, then you do get a discount for the premium package also. So Priyanka, just send me an email and say, hey, I'm a member of the YouTube channel, please send me a discount code, okay? And I'll do that. All right, everyone. So without further ado, let's get to part 3 questions. This is a speaking class. We'll answer questions together. I really want you to focus on repeating what you hear. So repeat questions, repeat answers, write down new words, write down new phrases and sentences. So have a document open on your computer or a separate piece of note paper or your notebook, and make sure to record expressions, ideas as we go along. So be active in the class. Don't just be passive, okay? So don't just be looking at this like, it's a live YouTube. It kind of looks terrible because it's live streaming and the audio is weird and it's delayed. No, just be active, okay? Be active. So be a part of it. I really want to help you get those high band scores, okay? All right. Okay, students. So part 3, this comes after the cue card. Some of you were in the last class just 30 minutes ago. We looked at a cue card that was about luck. This is not on the same cue card. This is a different part 3, okay? So when you're finished part 2, the examiner will take back the card, the note paper, usually. Sometimes they forget. They should take back the card, the note paper, and then they will say, that is the end of part 2. Now we will continue with part 3. For part 3, I will ask you some more questions related to the topic of part 2. Hi, Eugene. I'm doing very well. Thank you, students, for giving me salutations. All right, students. So part 3, the examiner is looking at these questions. You don't see these questions. Only the examiner sees the questions, and they're marking you in real time. Okay, so they're assessing your score. All right, so let's get into it, and I will give you advice and strategy as we go along. So part 3, let's talk about customer satisfaction. So maybe part 2 was about shopping or about being a happy customer. So let's talk about customer satisfaction. Now, part 3 usually has combinations of questions, and you will only hear one question at a time. So you may hear this question: why is it important for customers to be happy with the services and products that they buy? Okay, so part 3 begins. You're thinking about customer satisfaction, and the examiner asks you one more time, repeat the question. Students, practice questions as well as answers, okay? It's very important. Why is it important for customers to be happy with the services and products that they buy? All right? So why is that important? Think about an answer. If you're stuck, then say, that's a good question. Give me a moment to think. Okay? That's a good question. Please allow me a moment to think. Okay? You can do that. Just make sure you sound natural and fluent. It doesn't sound like you just memorize that to say some words. Okay? Be nice and fluent. Hi, I'm Arjit. Hi, Jairam. Good to see more members in the class. Onisim says, meeting customers' satisfaction is vital for assuring the success of the business. For instance, one of my acquaintances has a market, and he always provides many benefits to his customers. Yeah, Onisim, the example is okay. You can make that better, Onisim. Just simplify it. So visualize your friend. Don't even use for instance, so the examiner doesn't interrupt you. Okay, unfortunately, a lot of the times when examiners hear for example or for instance, they are scared that the student will go into this long speech about some situation. So you kind of have to be sneaky, Onisim, with your example. So here, Onisim, I would do it like this. Meeting customers satisfaction, we'll do plural on customers, Onisim, okay? So meeting customers satisfaction is vital for assuring the long-term success of a business so that shoppers return in the future and people have positive reviews. And then instead of saying, for instance, Onisim, just go right into the example. So say my acquaintance has a shop, and he always wears a smile to have repeat customers that leave the store happy. Okay, so that would be more effective, Onisim, to flow into it like that. So again, students, repeat after me, and I will read a few more of the responses. So Why is it important for customers to be happy with the services and products that they buy? That's a good question. Please allow me a moment to think. Meeting customers' satisfaction is vital for assuring the long-term success of a business so that the shoppers return in the future and people have positive reviews. My acquaintance has a shop and he always wears a smile to have repeat customers that leave the store happy. Okay, just like that, nice and natural. All right, let's see a few more. So Amrit Bogan says it is pivotal for any buyer that he get the best service to make them happy as they are paying and might be using the purchases for a special purpose. That's why it's vital for manufacturers to sell quality products. Okay, Amrit, I like it. I like where you're going with it. Just notice my corrections. 10 through Tented says customer satisfaction is a very important part of business. It's the very essence of business and it's vital for long-term success and should be adopted in its strategic action plan. Okay, Tenshu, quite good. You might want to flow with a nice example there as well. Try to avoid repetition of words like business and important. Okay, use other words instead. Synonyms. All right, let's see some more. Jayaram Reddy says, customer satisfaction is very important. If a customer isn't satisfied with the service she gets, they won't be back to buy the product in the future, and that leads to a loss of profits, and eventually the business can go bankrupt. There was a horrible restaurant around the corner from me selling poor tasting curry, and indeed they did go out of business within a couple of weeks. Okay, Jairam, so maybe flow into that specific example, all right? Or bad butter chicken. All right, Roshni Kunte says, it is imperative to make customers happy because for long-lasting financial benefits and future profits, this is critical. Like in a grocery shop, I keep fresh vegetables and fruits, even if there is low demand. Maybe, Roshni, the end of that sentence is a little bit awkward. All right, so far, so good. Students, then comes the follow-up question, okay? Can you give some examples? So, can you give some examples? Now, even if you included an example, don't just say, oh, I already gave you an example, but go into more detail, okay? So you always want to go into more detail when the examiner says, can you elaborate or can you give some examples? So go into more details. Okay, give another example. So give me examples. Think about services, think about products, think about how you can join these ideas together. So customer satisfaction can be related to service quality, how the customer feels, for example, in a restaurant, or it can depend also on product quality, so the actual item that they receive and unbox at home. Give me an example about customer service satisfaction leading to good business. Okay? All right, excuse me. Ferdavs Nabiev says, yeah, for example, myself, when I decide to purchase any kinds of goods, I analyze the reviews and then determine which store to go to. Ferdavs, very good. All right? Speak about yourself as the customer. Very good. So yes, certainly. Oftentimes, when I decide to buy a product or service, I check the reviews on Google first. I never go to a restaurant that has less than 4 stars. So I usually get good food and great service. Like at this sushi place I visited just yesterday, which has 4.5 stars. Okay? All right. Yeah, very good for Dobbs. I love it. Okay. Samir Mishra says stars. Here's a star for you. Amrit Bogan says 3 stars for you. All right, very good. Yeah, and we're very familiar with this rating system these days, and quality of service and product is becoming ever more important. All right, let's see some more. Li Ying says, like one of the most popular restaurants, which is close to my office, they usually provide delicious and fresh food as well as great service during lunchtime. There is always a long queue. So during lunchtime, it always has a long queue. Yeah, a long line. Perfect, Li Ying. That is a beautiful example. Sure. Preeti says, customer satisfaction is quintessential for business. If customers are not satisfied with the services, certainly shops shut down quickly. Just 2 blocks away, a new restaurant opened. Unfortunately, the quality was poor and they went out of business in a matter of just a few months. Good. KB Anandu. A few days back, I went to a footwear shop, a shoe store. KB Anandu. Let's keep it simple. So a few days back, I went to a shoe store. Right in front of the store, I met a person. When he realized that I'm about to buy a shoe from the shop, he advised me not to buy a shoe there as they are overpriced and give poor service. KB Anandu, that's good. I know you ran out of space in the comment, but I see where you're going, and that's a very good example. All right, students, so excellent. Good job with that. Let's go to the next question. How can companies make sure that their merchandise and services are well received by their clientele? Let's go with clients. Clients, customers. Okay, so how can companies make sure that their merchandise and services are well received by their clients? All right, think about a good answer for that question. Remember, high band level answers should be paraphrased. Means use synonyms in your responses. Okay, you should also use complex grammar. Have good intonation and flow. And very importantly, make sure to specifically answer the question. Okay, those are very important points to practice before the exam. So paraphrase the question. It means use synonyms, antonym negatives, expressions, grammar, descriptions. In your responses, use complex grammar. So use present perfect, past perfect, conditionals, passive voice at times. Have good intonation and flow. You definitely want to sound natural. Make sure to specifically answer the questions. You don't need beautiful pronunciation, okay? A lot of students have this false belief that you need to sound like a native speaker. You don't, at least not your pronunciation, okay? As long as I can clearly understand you, it's fine. But your speed and your rhythm, your intonation, those should approximate a native speaker, okay? So, Amrit says, I think there are many factors that can demonstrate the merchandise and services are well received. Okay. First, they can use sales to make their purchases and profits better. Sales, yeah, so discounts. Okay, sure. Secondly, they can advertise so that a number of shoppers can increase. And third, they can use surveys and ratings in order to get feedback. Right, Amreen? That's very clever. So using surveys and ratings to get customer feedback is very clever. Carolina Asano says, companies can measure their client satisfaction by sending them surveys regularly. How, Carolina? Do you mean by email? Okay, and then what should they do after? Probably they should adjust their service and products according to the feedback that they receive. Okay, very good. Fadi Emil says, companies maybe can use their clients' feedback. However, if that was asking them face-to-face or using cards and typing their opinion of it. Fadi, you have the right ideas. Just be careful to use the right pronouns. Don't suddenly switch to your opinion, okay? People's opinion, customers' opinion, okay? I'm not sure why however is in there, Fadi. I don't think that there's opposition in that sentence, okay? All right. Kamlesh Kumar says, well, several businesses set up their complaint management system where they can get feedback from their customers and assess their performance. Also, some provide sales promotions and discounts to encourage customer satisfaction. Absolutely, Kamlesh. I corrected some of your structure and word choice there in real time. Pay attention to that. You can check it by looking at the time. It's at 22 minutes and 40 seconds in the video. Amarjeet Singh says, through ads, companies can not only make satisfied customers, but also provide some discounts to give incentives for customers to shop and be happy. Okay? All right, so again, one more time, how can companies make sure that their merchandise and services are well received by their customers? Well, businesses can create happy customers through promotional campaigns whereby they give discounts on products, thus enticing shoppers to spend and be happy, as well as instituting satisfaction surveys I'll get that out, figure it out in a sec. Surveys through email in order to get feedback on how they can improve their services and products further. All right. So, teaching you some vocabulary and some complex natural English sentence structure. Here we go. Repeat after me. Well, businesses can create happy customers through promotional campaigns whereby they give discounts on products, thus enticing shoppers to spend and be happy, as well as instituting satisfaction surveys through email in order to get feedback on how they can improve their services and products further. Instituting, institution, instituting, using it as a verb. Keep that in mind. Instituting means applying, making it a standard, okay? And a nice way to join ideas. Try to use this word in the future, whereby. Whereby means in this situation. So whereby they give discounts on products. Okay? All right, so use the word whereby. Whereby, it means in this case or in this situation, Amrit. That's exactly what I'm explaining. So good question. Okay? So it means in further detail. Well, businesses can create happy customers through promotional campaigns in which they give discounts on products. So you can think about it like in which is another way to say it. Okay. All right, students, let's keep going. So again, here is the follow-up question. And like I say, part 3 in the IELTS speaking is kind of conversational style, okay? So there will be follow-up questions. And this is a typical question for this kind of scenario where the examiner may ask, do these always work? So, do these always work? Okay. So does it always work to, basically the examiner is asking, does it always work to give discounts or to do surveys to make sure that customers are happy with a company's products and services? By the way, these part 3 topics are great practice for students who are in the business world, either learning a business like a master's of business administration or working in the world of business. Okay. Ferdovs says, of course, no. Many companies try to cheat customers, especially through online feedback, marking by their own staff. That's why I always check ratings from 2 or more resources before making my final decision. Ferdovs, very nice answer. I love how it's original. I know that it's natural. It's not a learned answer. Fantastic. MD Tosif Ali says, yeah, most of the time, but businesses need to market their products in every form and get feedback to increase satisfaction levels and make changes according to the needs of the customers. MD Tosif, that's also good. It's a good answer, okay, with a couple of slight corrections. Darminder Gill says, yes, because the companies choose the result. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Darminder. I can kind of guess, but on the IELTS exam, the examiner should never be guessing what you mean by your answer. It should always be 100% clear. That's why, Darminder, you need to think about the examiner as your grandfather or your grandmother. They don't assume. They need to be told very clearly. Okay, just a moment. I'll get you back here. For some reason, my camera quit on me, but no problem. Just be a second. All right. So always expand a little bit. Good answers, students, should be at least a couple sentences. Yes, Samir, it's my daughter. She was a fair bit younger than she is now. Yakub Suleymanov says, of course, it's not because most of the companies are inclined to get more profit than real customer satisfaction. That's why we can't rely on all reviews, especially on websites. Yeah, okay, so those are some good answers. All right, let me give you a sample answer of my own. So, no, these are not always effective means of guaranteeing customer satisfaction. Since surveys may be inaccurate, and sales can be poorly received. There was a huge discount on running shoes in a sports store down one street from my flat, but the sneakers were such bad quality that the company just got a ton of bad press in the end. Okay, so again, make sure to have clear explanations for your answers. Okay, don't hold back, don't overspeak. Okay, don't keep just talking and talking and talking. Be fluent, 2 to 3 sentences. That should be your goal for each question, for the main question and the follow-up question. Okay, all right. Here we go. So one more time, do these always work? No, these are not always effective means of guaranteeing customer satisfaction, since surveys may be inaccurate and sales can be poorly received. There was a huge discount on running shoes in a sports store down one street from my flat, but the sneakers were such bad quality that the company just got a ton of negative press in the end. Okay, so I don't repeat the bad. Music beats, absolutely fire away. Students, if you have questions, just ask. I will try to get to them, especially if they are connected to the topic. So if you have if you have questions connected to what we are discussing, those are great. I try to catch those. If you have questions, music beats, about other topics in the IELTS exam or other thoughts of maybe our products, then ask me that in email so I don't go off topic in the lesson. Okay? All right. So, let's see. Any other good answers? Violeta Castro Paredes says, yes, they always work because whenever you have happy customers, they are always bound to come back to the place they feel comfortable. Okay, Violetta, I don't think that answers this particular question because this was about, do customer satisfaction surveys always work, and sales. Okay. KB Anandu, in part 3, your answers should be 2 to 3 sentences on average. Okay, so somewhere between 2 and 3 sentences depending on what you say and how you say it. All right. Okay, let's take the next question. How have customer service relations improved with technology? That is the next question. Give me a nice full answer. And again, think 2 sentences. Okay, focus on giving me a 2-sentence answer. So how have customer service relations improved with technology. Kartik Joshi says, it has improved a lot, as nowadays a lot of online websites are there which provide discounts. Other than this, they also provide a contact number where a person can complain or give feedback. Very good, Kartik. Kartik, remember, students, remember, a lot, 2 words. Okay, that's one of the ones that English teachers are very particular on. They don't like to see students write a lot as 1 word. It's a lot, 2 words. Okay, Kartik, keep that in mind. Okay, you will lose a half band score in your task 1 or 2 if you write a lot as 1 word. It's one of the weird ones. Okay, it's one of the ones that English speakers are like, what? It's 2 words. It's 2 words. All right. Onisim says, technological facilities have significantly improved customer service in a convenient way due to the possibility of client preview and services of products on the business website. Onisim, you have some mistakes in there. Careful. And Onisim, very importantly, pay attention that this is present perfect. How have service relations improved? So past participle with the auxiliary verb have for the present perfect. So present perfect auxiliary verb have. As soon as you hear that, make sure to answer using the present perfect. It's very important. And Kartik did a good job. Kartik right away says, it has improved a lot. That right there will earn you band scores. Why? Because you're showing me the examiner that you caught that this is a present perfect and you're answering with a present perfect. Okay, it's very important. Reflect the grammar of questions. Okay, so reflect the grammar of questions in your answers. All right. Sharuk Zaitone says, customer service has developed dramatically with technology over time. Now, it's much easier for individuals to convey their complaints or even their suggestions via the internet. I bought a great pair of shoes on Amazon 2 weeks ago and immediately clicked 5 stars on the website. Right, Sharuk? Rightio. It's a beautiful start, Sharuk. Finish it up with a nice, smooth, flowing example to guarantee yourself that band 8.59. Okay? This is Sharuk Zaitone. All right? So that was a good answer. So customer service relations have developed dramatically with digital technologies and the internet over the past 20 or so years. As I had previously mentioned, I look into Google reviews before deciding on a restaurant. This type of feedback was not possible in the past. Okay. All right. Make connections. Always remember that point, students. Make connections among your answers when possible. So you remember I talked about Google reviews a little bit earlier. It was maybe right at the beginning. So here, yes, certainly. Oftentimes when I decide to buy a product or service, I check the reviews on Google first. I never go to a restaurant that has less than 4 stars. So boom, there it is. And once I've said that, that's technology. Keep calm and focused in your part 3 so you can make these connections, boost your band score. Okay? So that's what I'm doing here. All right? I'm making that connection and I'm using past perfect to do it. All right? So check it out. As I had previously mentioned. Wow, did I just get a present perfect have developed dramatically with the past perfect as I had mentioned previously into one answer? I sure did. Guess what's happening? My band score is climbing into that band 8, band 9 range because I'm showing the examiner that I'm not just an okay user of English, I'm a very good user of English in command of complex grammar structures in spoken real-time English. And that's what you want to do, all right? So make those connections. Use them to sneak in some past perfect sentence structure, okay? Dramatically, la mise means a lot in this case, so significantly or substantially, okay? All right. So, Manpreet Longowal says, yes, I can give an example. Let me think. I vividly remember almost 2 months ago, I purchased a mobile phone online after viewing the reviews of other customers. Manpreet, are you jumping ahead to the next question? I think you are, which is okay, Manpreet. That works. That's the follow-up question. Can you elaborate? Okay. So can you elaborate means can you give more details? It means give more details of what you've just said. Okay. So make sure you stay specific. What did I just say? I said that Google reviews before deciding on a restaurant, this type of feedback was not possible in the past. Can I elaborate? Sure. Sure. When a customer searches for a business online using their Google browser, they will see up to 5 little gold stars under the company's credentials and the number of reviews given. Okay, in this way, the customer can also look at the specific comments of past clients and learn what is good and bad about that particular company. Okay? What am I doing here? I'm elaborating. Okay? When the question asks you to elaborate, it means give more details about your specific answer. So the more specific you can be in your elaboration, the better. This is a very important tip for your IELTS speaking exam, okay? When you are asked to elaborate, and this almost happens all the time in part 3, the more specific you are to your previous answer, the higher your band score. Now, of course, you have to make sense. It has to be clear. Okay? But this proves that you're an expert user of the language when you can do that. Okay? So you need to be specific. So here, I'm elaborating specifically on what Google reviews are on the internet. It means, and repeat after me, students, sure, when a customer searches for a business online using their Google browser, they will see up to 5 little gold stars under the company's credentials and the number of reviews given. In this way, the customer can also look at the specific comments of past clients and learn what is good and bad about that particular company. Oftentimes, there are even pictures included of products. Okay. All right. Pachu says, I checked in Google review. Many people have opinion that these companies' services are good. So I also decided to shop there. All right, Pachu. So there, it's okay, but you're just kind of repeating what you already said earlier in the conversation. When the question asks you to elaborate, it's important that you don't just repeat what you already said, even if you're paraphrasing. Okay, don't just repeat. KB Anandu is saying, is it okay to elaborate our answer with an example? Not really, KB Anandu. An example is okay, but it's not as good as more clear detail, because the examiner does ask you, can you give me an example? So let me see, it was here somewhere. See, so earlier there was a different follow-up question, which is, can you give some examples? Can you give some examples is not exactly the same as can you elaborate. Can you elaborate means, can you give more detail about what you just said? Okay? So examples are okay, but going into more detail about how that idea or situation works specifically is better. I hope that makes sense. Okay? Practice that. It's not so easy. I make it sound easy, but it takes practice. All right, students, here we go. Some more questions for you to think about and to practice at home. Record on your phone. Send it to me by email. I'll give you a score estimate. Here are the last questions for this part 3. Let's talk about defective products. If a person buys a defective product, what options do they usually get from stores to remedy the situation? Are all of these always available? That's the follow-up. Why might it be a bad idea to continue using a product even if it has a manufacturing defect? Are there any exceptions to this? Answer these last few questions on your own. Practice them a few times. Once you feel you have a good answer, send me the MP3 recording, and I'll let you know what kind of a score you could expect for that answer. Students, to get the best help for your next IELTS exam, spend a couple dollars, save a lot of headache, time, money. Join our premium course. Yes, it's a sales pitch, but it's one that is for you to be successful. aehelp.com for academic IELTS and gieltshelp.com. Free materials are great, but paid materials are usually better. They're more structured, they're more cohesive. So visit those websites, join them, use them. It's for your benefit. That's it for me for today. Tomorrow, I will be back with a members chat class, questions and answers about the IELTS exam, and a speaking part 1 class where everybody can chat and share their ideas. Hopefully, I'll see most of you tomorrow, same time, same channel. Have an awesome rest of your day and a good start to your weekend. Bye for now, everyone.